All right, everybody, checking back into the Canadian marijuana sector, finally getting some life back. And since we last, actually, I don't know, not really sure when the last video was, I guess over the weekend. So we've seen bulls show up since then. We're starting with CGC. We're going to look at CGC, OGI, APH, ACB, and MT. And then we'll break it down and look at the 5-minute time frame for some indications. We have a lot of people coming in, a lot of Redditors in our chat room now, and they are experimenting with day trading, and so far so good. So really good to see charts being utilized and light bulbs going off. So for CGC, extremely strong close today, and the pattern has been when we see a strong close like this, we can expect a gap up. But the pattern has also been the past two gap ups we have seen, it's been a sell the gap up reaction. And in these videos I've said before, the rule of thumb is gap ups are for selling and gap downs are for buying. And the more we see that pattern time and time again, the more it's going to get recognized by traders and magnified. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Lots of volume, and if we break this 1180 level, it's going to be a very bullish break because we don't have the next price resistance until really, I'm looking up at, let's see, after 1180. And here's a perfect example of previous support. Look at the low of November 18th, 1180, high of November 24th, 1180, high of today, 1180. So that is a very clear level, and if we break 1180, I'm looking at $12 psychological, and then the high of November 21st, 1245. So we can see lots of nice room to the upside, and it was the same thing today. I'll show it on the 5-minute chart. But as soon as we broke 1147, bulls exploded to the upside, and it didn't even require a ton of volume. That's just because the next resistance level after 1147 was clearly 1180, the high of November 24th. So there was lots of space before that next resistance, and the bulls took full advantage of that. So the past 3 days, we've seen higher lows and higher highs with lower wicks and bulls buying the dip. Decent, solid bull volume, nothing crazy that we've been seeing. But after this consolidation, we have our high, our consolidation low, lower high, higher low, and now we're looking to break the lower high pattern by breaking 1180 and heading back into the low teens up to where the previous highs were. Weekly time frame, bulls bought the dip last week, and they're trying to keep above this upper Bollinger Band, 1163, and remain in breakout mode. We closed right on that upper Bollinger Band last week, and we'll see how over the next 2 days where we close. But ideal scenario for the bulls is to close over 1163. OGI, also bullish, but first thing, CGC is clearly the lead bull, and that's because we can look at the high from November 24th, and we are right at that level. And we compare to OGI. If OGI were at that level, we'd be up at 370. If APH were at that level, we'd be at 588. ACB, that level is up at 315. And MT is the next closest with that level up at 618. So that just shows you how clearly CGC is the lead bull of this sector. So OGI, very bullish candlestick as well. Maintaining that middle Bollinger Band. We closed right on it yesterday, and we kept it today. That level is 313, and it is slowly ascending. As long as the bulls hold that daily moving average, they are in control. So we're looking at resistances. The high of Monday was 329. We broke it by a penny. So 330, the high of today's resistance. Then we're looking at 336 and then up to 370. So the bulls really want to see a break of 336 because there's not a lot of resistance between 336 and 370, which could allow for easy movement to the upside. Weekly time frame, not nearly near that upper Bollinger Band like CGC is, and bulls bought the dip last week as well, but we're seeing a clear, tight consolidation candlestick, not nearly as bullish on the weekly as CGC. APH, also a bullish engulfing candlestick, showing up today, regaining that middle Bollinger Band of 501 support, breaking the high of Monday as well, only by a few pennies. But next resistance is the high of Friday, 547, followed by 588. So you can see a lot of these names haven't even broken the high of Thursday or Friday, while CGC is at the high of Friday right now. So this is a bullish reversal candlestick on APH. We need a green day tomorrow to confirm it. Same for OGI. After this consolidation period, we need that bullish reversal confirmation. CGC has already gotten that confirmation with this bullish hammer, confirmed further upside, and the bulls have been in control for the past few days very clearly on CGC. We need confirmation on OGI and APH with another green day tomorrow. ACB is the clear laggard, the clear bear of the group, and I guess it's the black sheep fitting for the candlestick. We opened at the high of the day, and the bears controlled the entirety of the day, and we closed down at the low. So this is a huge red flag for the bulls. This is by far the weakest name out of these 5 that we're seeing trading the past couple of days. And we opened right at resistance, the high of Monday, 285, the high of today, 285. Rejection from resistance, close at the low of the day. So look at the past 2 days. The high of the day was right where we opened. That shows no strength by the bulls. And support is going to be 266 and 262, then the middle Bollinger Band in the mid 250s tomorrow. Weekly time frame, not much information. Bulls bought the dip last week, and not really worth looking at the weekly time frame with that lack of historical data. But the daily chart certainly shows us weakness, gap and traps, higher opens. Every time we've had an higher open in the past 4 out of the past 5 days, it's all been very bearish responses. So 1, 2, 3, 4 higher opens, and the open was pretty much the high of the day, except for one time. So ACB, black sheep of the group. MT is the second most bullish, I would say. Clear higher low pattern on the daily time frame the past 5 days. Nice lower wick showing bulls buying the dip. We had an inside candlestick yesterday. As soon as we broke 582, that was the bullish indication that the bulls were going to be strong today. High of 605. We broke the high of Monday, broke the high of Friday. So just looking at that resistance of 618, the high of that big gap up day. So the closest in terms of strength to CGC is MT, technically speaking. Nice increase in volume today compared to yesterday. And we'll see what kind of follow through we get. We do expect a gap up tomorrow. If the pattern plays out, CGC looking for a gap up. And again, the pattern has been to sell the gap up open. So we'll see how that all plays out. Let's now look at the 5-minute time frame. Trading opportunity. Let's look at ACB and where the big red flag was. Look at the open up here, 585. 5 minutes later, we had dropped all the way down, or make that 285. We had dropped down to 273. So we lost essentially, what is that, 12 cents, which is about 5% from the open in the first 5 minutes. Bulls tried to recover, lower high, and then a pullback. And as soon as we broke the low of the day, that was game over. Bulls might as well have packed it in for the day. Breaking 271 down here, very bearish. Another lower high, and then a dump at the end of the day. Look at this 15-minute dump and a close right near the lows. And you compare that to the sector leader, CGC, and you see the strength at the end of the day on CGC. And that is nowhere near what we saw on ACB. So where do we go from here? Well, let's see the 5-minute chart. When did it signal that the bulls showed up? High of the day was $11.25. Low of the day was $11. We pulled back. We formed a higher low. That higher low was at $11.02. Double top at $11.25. So that is a very clear resistance level. Consolidate from the double top, another higher low. So our higher lows are now at 11, 11.02, 11.05. That's good progress for the bulls, but we're not going anywhere unless we can break 11.25. Here we go. There's our bull break. All 5-minute moving averages become support on that bull break. We consolidate, trade sideways. Another bull move to the upside. Look at the volume. Consolidation, sideways trading, very low volume. Big increase in bull volume. New high of the day. Consolidate. Look at the red candlesticks. Look at the volume compared to the bull volume. It's non-existent. So we see here 65,000 and 81,000 shares traded. Consolidation is 19,000, 20,000, and then 13,000. So can't even compare to the bull volume, and that's exactly what the bulls want to see. Another move to the upside. So now we have this higher low and higher high pattern very clear. We topped out at 11.45, so we knew resistance was 11.47, and then we topped out at 11.45, so we were aware that the bulls still had some work to do. Another consolidation period. Look at the lack of volume, very low, and then the bulls show up. Look at the spike in bull volume, and look what happens as soon as we break 11.47. That was the go signal for the bulls. We went from 11.47 up to 11.72 in pretty much 10 minutes, and that's because of the lack of resistance. Let's look at that daily chart again. As soon as we broke 11.47, the high of yesterday, next resistance is 11.80, and that's why we cruised right up to 11.72 with very little resistance, consolidated, and then there was a fake out at the end of the day. This little dump, in my opinion, was triggering stops with this run-up coming at the end of the day, and we'll look at some other specific examples. But this was a pattern, a horizontal base of support at 1151. We bounced off this level multiple times, and then there was a declining lower high pattern, so the range is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and then a clear bear break on increasing bear volume. In all honesty, technically speaking, if I were in for a day trade, I would have exited on the break of 1151. So I would have been out there, and I probably would have missed, unless I got real quick at the end of the day looking for the gap up, I probably would not have been in this trade because I would have stopped out there. And in my opinion, that might have been intentional. We'll see what kind of gap up we get tomorrow, but looking across the board, across the sector here, look at this dump at the end of the day and complete fake out. Bullish reversal hammer confirmed and a big time recovery. So a quick flush and a quick recovery. That's on APH. Let's see how it happened on MT. So a bear break, losing the 20 period support, and then a quick recovery at the end of the day. And one more here. Who am I missing? OGI, end of the day. Not as significant a pullback, but a quick drop from 330 down to 321 before recovering again. So there was a little bit of games being played, in my opinion, at the end of the day. But bulls bought that dip, and we're looking strong heading into tomorrow. So we will see what tomorrow brings. Certainly expecting a bullish start. The question will be, can the bulls hold up? And if you want to zoom out, if you're not using the 5-minute time frame for day trading, look at the hourly time frame and zoom out. This is the 5-day hourly chart for CGC. There's that high of 1180 from the gap up, and we're right at that resistance. You can see we consolidated, and since we formed that low at 1018, it's been nothing but higher lows and higher highs, and we just need to break that 1180 level to be looking for the higher highs to continue. And you can see how significant that is. There's our profit-taking dump on the hourly over multiple days. Bounce, consolidation, continuation, and if we break 1180, I am then looking up at 12 psychological and 1245. So tomorrow's a very important day for the bulls. We'll see how it plays out. I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great night. And that's that.